Hello, hello, hello. Crafty Chris here for another Scrap Your Scraps Thursday night. I just have recently joined a scrap swap group, and I thought it'd be interesting to sort of show you what that kind of looks like. So I have been tasked with creating 3 cards of any size, blank inside. The colors are pink, yellow, and yellow, sorry. Dimensional embellishments are necessary. Texture of some sort is necessary. The theme is a tea time challenge. And it's suggesting that things that you would see at a tea are things that you could add, like lace and flowers and pearls and mesh and bling and teacups, dies, or plates of goodies. It says that salutations are optional. If you would like to send a few cut paper flowers in yellow and pink and enclose a tea bag pouch, that would be fun too. So there you go. That is our what we were being asked to do. So I am creating 3 cards. And what I thought is I would have one nice large card that is almost 5 by 7. Um, Interesting that the envelopes that came in that pack are way larger than that. And I've got my usual A2 size, which are 4¼ by 5½. So I got 2 of those. And then I've got these really interesting pink envelopes. So I wondered if maybe I could somehow, whoops, use them or modify them in some way. But anyway, we'll see what happens. So I've got some envelopes. I'll put these guys back up there. I have some molded things that I've made. I have some pre-existing word pieces. Now, the person that I'm switching with is actually a coffee drinker, so I'm going to try and slip this coffee piece in there. And then I have all kinds of other things. I have a nice little beachy sort of fence that I can use. I've got some tag bits. My intention on this one is I'd cut the yellow out and put it on top of that, and I would have a pink thing. Got some more pink and yellow cards. Tag, pink tag. So those are all the tags anyway. And then I've got some tickets. I've got this cute little pink flower person, some pink pieces of sticker and border and paper, so that can all kind of sort of stay together in pinks and yellows. And all these guys can go there. I got some glittery arrows. I have a crocheted, I actually made this myself, a crocheted heart that I can put somewhere. And then there's some other kinds of things where I can do some writing and just some circly bits that I can add as decor. So these are writing things. And what's on the other side of that? That could be like a frame for something. I have a tag that is partially started that was a swap from someone else that I can now continue and do more to and pass it along. I have a piece of wallpaper that has yellow background. I don't know if I could use it in some way. This has got tea and coffee and crumpets and things. I don't know if I'd use the whole piece, but I could cut out some of the imagery. What else do I have? Again, some nice light pieces of tag and paper backgrounds. I have some doily. I have some tea stained tag. And let's see, we'll put the doily up there. And I have this cute little thing that says, "This was the best part of Grandma's house." That's kind of cute because my grandma was a tea drinker for sure. I probably won't use that now that I'm looking at it. a nice big pink flower on some really interesting paper. I have a top and the bottom of a card that came to me that I could use, you know, the gingham paper. And I have an insert from a plant book, and I could cut out some of the embellies or the flowers on it, or some of the words. I have lemons, another tag. I have a nice sort of, I could paint this white or something, I don't know. I don't know how many I'll get done tonight with you. Again, there is another sort of tag piece, a pink heart sticker, another heart sticker, and more heart stickers, and more clothing type things I could put on there. Frames, let's get our frames all together. Some cute pink frames, yellow frames. I got some background pieces that are bright and cheerful for paper, and another type of frame. And these I could either use in their entirety or parts of them. Frames, frames, objects. I've got some, oh, there's more of those things that I made, arrows, words, and more of my forgotten the word, more of my creations that I've made from clay. Another frame, some more arrowy type things. Let's put all the arrows together. More arrows, arrows, a coffee cup because we know she is a coffee drinker. Just some pretty symbols, birds, some pink sunglasses, some a watering can, more hearts, a post box, some stamps, a letter. Oh, seems to be two there. X and O's, little bits and bobs for layering, a pot, and some more objects. And there we go. And then I have some of this nice bling I can cut apart and use. So lots of things going on. So the first thing I want to do is I'm going to start with the small one because the big one is I have to work my way up to. And I'm going to go right onto the card. So I want to make sure that I've got the card nicely folded. And there we go. And I want to build a background. Now I have to decide if I want this to be sort of a, what am I trying to say? Sort of like a vintage, which I think actually would be kind of nice if I did vintage. I could play around a little bit, but that's quite large. Maybe I'll use that on the bigger one. So let's see. I've got some of this background that's almost all ready. And it's very clean, but it is sort of vintagey. So let's see what else I can pull together here. I like the idea of tea staining. These are quite vibrant colors, so I think I'll keep the vibrant colors to one side and the pastel-y ones more or less together. These tickets are vibrant. Let's see what we have here. This was the best part of Grandma's house. I like that. Can I bring in any of this? Not really, but I need to have yellow here. That is part of the requirement. So let's see if there's, that's a little bit too graphic. I have to bring in the yellow. Wow, most of this stuff is pink. So what if I had that in the background across the top? Or what if I pulled that through the bottom somehow? Maybe like that. So just like pulling elements together. Now this has to have yellow, and it has to be I like the idea of that heart. So we have some gold bits here. Where is a heart that I can use? Hearts are kind of small. What about this guy? Could this guy right across? No, it's too contemporary. And that's bright. The best part about Grandma's house. Let's see. I could have two of those. They're kind of a vintagey pink. Don't need tickets. Don't know if I like that. I'm not used to working with little flowery things. So if I kind of did like a corner collage like that with the post box and a letter, and we've got some hearts here. Okay, but I need more yellow. Definitely need more yellow. These are too bold. These are pink. What if I actually put that through the center of the heart? That's kind of fun. Maybe up there. What else do we have here? I need to bring in some yellow. Nope. Okay, what do we have here that has yellow? Very aggressive yellow. Yeah, this is a lot of yellow. All right, so I kind of want to do a frame. So let me see if I can do this. Now these cards obviously are not going to be cards. And that's another way I can bring in the yellow. And maybe I have this in there. Best part of Grandma's house. Actually, that's not going to work for me. I want to go back to my hearts. I think I want yellow hearts. Now, I do have a container that has hearts in it. Okay, so I have hearts here. So I have that little heart there. I'm going to move that up. I have this yellow, which I like. Okay, so I have that heart. I'll take that out. Keep it a little simple. So it's a smaller one, which is perfect. So even when you pull all your stuff out, once you start sort of investigating where you're headed with something, it can change the direction of what you do. All right. Now, what do I want here? I want something there. I want hearts. That wouldn't work out. Stamp, that might be too big. Okay, I may just put some kind of a gem or something on there in this spot, because I don't see anything I'm really liking unless I put a flower off this border on there, which that's a possibility. Let's see. Alrighty. So if I take this off, really see what's going on there. There we go. That will work. All right. So I think I've got what I want to do here. So let me take a quick picture of it so I don't forget. This is how I remember what I'm doing. Just take a picture of it, and it's in my gallery for when I need it. There it is right there. Okay, perfect. So I'll leave that to the side until I need it. And we're going to move a few things out of the way here. And we're going to start with the bottom. Put all our pieces here. Okay, I think I'm going to age this just a little tiny bit, because Grandma's house is probably, you know, an older home. Okay, and I'm also going to age this because I don't want it to be as stark. And I can just rub this over to give it a little bit of an aged look, so it's not quite so white. There we go. I don't know if you can see it. Let's turn this guy out and see how I've got some aging happening down into the paper as well. All right. And now we're going to stick this centered. It has a message on the back, which is from my person that I did the swap with, the last swap. And now I'm going to put this centered. My opening is there. There we go. Beautiful. Now I want this piece to go across one side to the other, and I think I'm actually going to put it right down to the bottom. So that's 2 inches of adhesive. I'm going to use my grid here so I know where to put my adhesive. And just along the edge there. And I'm going to have to, before I stick that down, I'm going to edge this as well. There we go. Now I'm just going to stick that down. I actually could edge it right on the piece. And I'm going to trim off the excess. There we go. That can go in my pile for later. And I want to edge this one side. There we go. Okay, there we are. Now, according to my picture, the grandma was halfway between the top and the bottom, about 1/4 inch from the left. So something like that. So I'm actually going to trim this off. Is this a sticker? No. I'm going to trim that off. There's a little bit of excess paper there. There we go, that looks better. Give it a little bit of aging. Oh, alrighty. So I'm going to put it about halfway between the top and the bottom. We'll line it up with the edge of the gingham. There we go. That's how I use my grid mat. There we are. So we have that down. And I just realized this piece is supposed to stick underneath. So let's and I think I'm going to pop dot the top edge so it raises it off. So I'm just going to pop dot the top 2 edges so that it kind of comes off the background. And we're going to lift that. And we're going to lift this. Whoa. I have to be careful. Because we're going to stick this guy down in here. There we go. So he's popped a bit. And you can see the dimension there. All right. Now let's work on this bottom corner. So these guys, I'm just going to trim a bit of this white off. It's just a little too much white for me. I'm not going to worry if I get a bit of white, but the amount of white is just a little bit eye-catching. There we go. Get all my little garbagey bits out of the way. Okay, now this guy is going to go flat in the background. Yeah. So I'm just going to put him flat in the background, a little bit on an angle here. There we go. And then the other thing I had here was my letter. And again, just trim some of that. Oh, you know what I forgot to do with this poor guy? Distress him a little bit. I need to get dressing. There we go. Put him down. Trim away some of the excess on this one. There we are. Okay. Age that just a little bit. Okay, and this one we're going to pop dot. My bigger pop dots. Big one and a little one. I don't need a lot. There we go. And that's going to leave the posties open. Posties open. Now I'm going to definitely have to pot dot this one. I need to sort of give it a little more. There we go. Now on the back of this one I'm going to put little mini dots. Don't know if you've seen them before, but they're very, very small little tiny dots, micro dots. The other thing I should probably do is give a little dust to the sticker so my fingers don't stick to it. There we go. It's a duster tool to get the stickery off of stickers. There we go. They are awesome things, but they are tricky to use. There we go. Love it. All right, we're almost done. So there's where we're at so far. Beautiful. Now we're going to add our little hearts. This is the small one. And this is the bigger one. And that gives us just a little more yellow. There we go. So that's where we're at. And now I'm just going to snip through the center of my arrow. This is how I do it rather than so I want my arrow to come up through there like that. Okay, so now I'm just going to put a tiny bit of glue on this because it's hard to just a couple of dips of glue. All right. There we go. And this guy is going to have some glue on it as well. Whoops. There we go. We're going to turn that over. that. And then this one is going to have pop dot. Near the tip. Oh, stuck on the inside of my fingernail. There we go. And then we're going to have some glue. There we go. This is going to come out of there. There we go, and that's how we make it look like it's going through. Alrighty. And how do I feel about that card? I feel okay about that card. I think what I do want is a bit of Wink of Stella. I'm going to pull that out. Oh, I better use something different. I better use Midas Touch because I've got the gold there. I have to use the gold. Pen. It's already got gold dots on there. And just a couple of little details. There we go. And get some glossy accents. These are 3D already, but I want my flower to shine. So I just add glossy accents to the flower. And you really should let the Midas Touch dry, but I'm just touching it very lightly so as not to end up with the color moving around. There we go. And a dot there and a dot there. And I think we are done. Should I do that? I could do that. Make them shinier as well. So let's go ahead and do that. There we go. So there is, turn off the lights so you can see some of the detail. There is that. There you go. And it is finished. Finished? Finished. So that's number 1 card. Now I think I want to go and try the bigger card. And I'm liking this piece. But I don't know that I'm liking that. I might have to do something there. But anyway, I want to stick this down. But first, again, I'm going to do a couple of things. I'm going to flatten out the fold on this. And I'm noticing that one side is better than the other. Then I'm going to add some distress around the edges. And I'm going to do the same to this paper. Again, it's a very light paper. There we go. It's got a little bit of color, not too much. I need to get a new foam. All right, so we are going to put this down. All right, and I'm going to try to more or less center it. I know that it is not going to be straight, but at least it's in the beginnings of straight. Alrighty, now there's a couple of things that I can play with. I can play with focusing on the flower and avoiding what's going on there. Again, I have to make sure I get some kind of yellow in there. And that's my big challenge. Yellow. Don't have a lot of yellow. Oh, I know what I can do. Bring down some of my ribbon, and I'm going to crisscross the yellow and the pink. So I'm going to grab a whack of it. And let's see. Grab, whoops. Not that much. So this is approximately 10.5 inches. And I'm going to tie a bow. All right, you make it nice and big. You can make it smaller afterwards. So that's too big. So I'm going to pull this in, pull it tight, pull it in again, pull it tight. There we go. Now I can have the bow coming across the page, across the bottom. I think I'm going to do it across the bottom. Now I can have it up or down. Kind of like it going down. All right. So we're going to keep that in mind right there, because I'm deciding what way to change, or to attach it rather. Okay, so I have some of these floral pieces that I can color. A couple of orange flowers, and I have some leaves that can go with it. So I can do something like that and color it, or I can actually add it to the top and cover up the butterfly, which I don't particularly like. No, that doesn't make any sense. So we're going to bring this down here like we just had it. Something like this. Something like that. I have some of these sayings that I can put on here. When words are both genuine and kind, they can change the world. Me. Today is my favorite place to be together, rather. You're never too old to dream a new dream. She lives the poetry she cannot write. Okay. I like the idea of you're never too old to dream a new dream. That can fit in there. Alrighty, now what do we do with that butterfly? Let's see. I have a number of pieces of broken this is where the hard part is, putting things on to hide other things. Now, this all is great if I can tint these the colors that I want. All right, I'm not sure about that one yet. So I'm just gonna take a picture. Oh, you know what? What else do we have here? We have arrows. That's a little bit too bright. The pot isn't going to work. These guys are a little too linear. But that would be a way I could adhere both sides of that ribbon. So let's see what I think about that. So we have the ribbon. This can go to the bottom. That goes there. I'm going to take the outside off because often it makes it look thicker than it is. Right, so this can go here to hold that side down. And this can go here to hold that side down. We probably should have one in sort of in there. All right, that one's going to go there. So that brings in some more yellow. All right. These hearts are quite cute. Oh, I'll wait and see. Not really sold on this one yet. So I just take a picture of it and then I'm going to put it to the side for later. All right. Now the last 4x6. Again, I'm going to flatten that down nice and tight. Alrighty. Now I want to do a cheerful one. So I want to do this right away. I want to cut this. I think I'll do it with my chopper. I want the yellow that's inside this. Let's start this way first. And I'm just going to trim off these tiny little bits of green because they will show up weirdly. There we go. And get rid of all that green. Okay. Bring this to the side. And now I can just glue this right on top of this. And that gives me my yellow and my all right. There we go. There we go. So now I have my yellow and my pink. It can go nicely on there. Now I want to pull out some more things. Now that's a little too pale. So, and this is too pale, but let's see how it goes, because that will stand out on top. So I'm going to try to put together several pieces of pink on one paper or on one card. There we go. Have a nice border that goes across. Have a tag that pops in. And let's see now. Okay, I think I'm going to stick with this first. So let's get all that stuff down. Okay, so do I want it going like this? Or do I want it going like this? I think I want to go this way. So I'm going to line that up with the top edge. So there's my base. Love it. Absolutely love it. And these guys are going to go along the bottom. Okay. Just going to round this. So I trimmed it from before, so it doesn't show. And I'm just going to figure out how much I need. There we go. Still a bit left. That's going to go at the bottom. This guy, oh, don't need the T. Okay, I'm going to stick this across the bottom. There we go. Nice thing about stickers is you have some play in them. There we go. That goes across the bottom. I'm going to do some highlighting of that so that it will stand up. I want some of the yellow thread. So I'm going to take another smoosh of my yellow baker's twine, fold it in half, and I'm going to stick the rounded end through the front towards the back, which gives me that rounded cover. So I'll trim that down after I figure out where I'm going from here. Now I'm not doing any of the antiquing on this. I want this to be vivid colors. And what's interesting, there we go. Do something like that. And what else do we have here? We have silver doodads. Could put some silver doodads right over top of those green ones. So let's just trim off a row. So I'll have to trim that nicer. There we go. But I need some more things to pop in. So what do we have? We have butterflies, pink and yellow butterflies. I'm going to take that one right there. And I'm just going to trim it right up to the edge because it's got a blue edge on it. I kind of don't want much of that. Now I'm going to trim the antenna off because I'm going to draw those in with a pen. Otherwise I'm going to have too much blue showing because I'd have to leave some paper around the antennae so that it doesn't break. And a little tiny bit more blue needs to be trimmed off there. Okay, and there's our butterfly. Alrighty. And what am I going to put here? I need to put something. This is bright and cheerful. Gonna put a couple of coupons behind there. Definitely can put one. And I can snap that in half. There we go, we got some of that. Let's see. And I feel that I'm not even going to color this, but I am going to trim it because when you have, when you do mold making, you have excess that sits on the top. So I am going to trim away that. Okay, so I have trimmed this up so it is tidier. Alrighty, let's double check my phone, make sure I have my photo. Nope, there we go. Okay, alrighty, so the first thing I'm going to put down, I'm going to pop dot this guy. So I'm going to pop dot it in from the edges just so that I can put some things underneath. There we go. All right. So I am putting this on an angle, a little bit like that. Okay. Now on top of that, I'm going to glue this guy down. Just going to have that sit on top of that. Like so. And then I'm going to take a little bit of the glue on the back side of this. And I just realized I want to also pop upper edge so it has some dimension. And that's going to go around there. And I'm just going to stick my scissor under there and make sure that it touches at the bottom. Oops. And I'm going to do the same thing to this. So let's put the pop dots on first. Oops. Grabbed the wrong thing there. Alrighty, and this is now going to go down around there. And of course I forgot to put glue underneath, so I'm just going to tuck a little bit of glue there so we can see it actually touch. There we go. There we are. Then we're just going to put a little glue on this, but not to the tips. We're going to leave the tips open a bit so I can curl those up. Aha! I have to cut this just a bit shorter. There we go. And my glue is dried because it's quick drying glue. There we go. Just want it to poke out. Don't want it to be too much, and I'm going to curl the ends. There we go. So when you look at it now, you can see some dimension happening there. Okay. Now we're going to get this guy. And that will fit fine. This one I do want to pop a bit. I'm going to take one of these pop dots, just cut it in half, and I'm going to pop dot the tips of this flag. Oops. Alrighty. And we're going to get some glue on the bottom edge of that. And we're going to stick that right about there. Press it down, curl it up. There we go. We're getting there, and this is just going to come down. I think I might trim that just a tiny bit more. So it comes down here. There we go. Now the butterfly we're going to fold at either side of the body so that we have a small area for glue. And we're just going to stick that on the edge of the tag. Oops. There we go. Oh, a little more glue. There we are. Want to make sure that it sticks nicely. There we go, like that. And I think that's all the pieces. And then this piece, don't think these are adhesive. No. This piece is just going to go right on there. And we're going to stick that. Okay, there's my favorite place to be. There we go. Just want to make sure it looks like it's on the proper angle. And now these guys have a little bit of hairiness about them, so I'm just going to make sure I get as much of that hairiness off as I can. And now for this one, because it's indented, I'm gonna use liquid glass or glossy accents, whatever it is that you have, and I'm going to use this as adhesive so that it's a bit more 3D adhesive. Okay. Whoa, let's just spread that quickly because then it'll stay on better if it's more 3D. And this is tricky. You will get some of it on your fingers because that's the way it works. And you're gonna, whoops, just put it down so that it covers the existing pretend jewels. Okay, so I need to use my clear glue because I just want to put a little bit around to secure it. And because it's clear, you're not really going to see it. And it came out very quickly. So now I'm just going to go in and clean it up a bit. Doesn't look quite as bulky. You're not going to see the glue, but if it's too bulky, it will show up. So I just clean it up a little bit. Okay. Now, finishing touches on that. That's such a pretty card. Finishing touches. I am going to put some glossy accents, and this is silver sparkle, so I'm using my Wink of Stella. I'm just going to Wink of Stella my flowers here at the bottom, so it'll have silvery sparkle. Okay, and then doesn't have to be perfect. And again, if you went over too far and you've got some spots, just push it back in. And people won't even know that it was originally a sticker. Let's see where else. Okay, I think that's good. Awesome. And Wink of Stella on the wings of the butterfly always. Because we like those butterfly wings to have that gossamer look. And just a little bit of the glossy accents. Make sure you poke the holes if you have any. Oh my goodness, does not want to poke. And let's see. If you want, on the dot paper, you can put a little bit of gloss in the centers of the dots if you have a dot paper like I do. Just gives it a little sparkle and shimmer. You know, it's interesting, most people won't even notice this. They'll think it was part of the paper. But all this extra stuff you do, it's in the details. So let me show you this card. So you can see the glossy, and it's combined with the Wink of Stella. And then here we just have the Wink of Stella on the wings and little dots of sparkle. Very cool. All right. That's number 2. We'll just put that aside to dry. And let's have a go at this. So, put some caps on some things. Alrighty. I like this. So I am going to get my colors. And I am going to take a couple of tri-blend markers. So I have green and pink, a little bit of red as well. Alrighty, so this guy is a watercolor brush, and it's got 3 different colors: red, fuchsia, green leaf, and yellow tulip. So let's see. Start with the green leaf, and I just want to see how that's going to play out. That might be just a little too light, so maybe we'll use the darker green. And let's see. Whoa, that to me is the wrong kind of pink. What's this yellow look? The yellow looks okay, so that I can see working. Now let's see. We have, whoa, mega pink. And then lighter. And then lightest. Okay, those two colors I like, so I think I'm going to stay away from the darkest color. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go in and paint every surface. So first I'm going to do the surfaces. The surfaces. That sounds interesting. Then I'm going to go in and cover the inner surfaces. Now, depending on what you're casting with, it can, when it's wet, get sticky again, but it will dry. So I'm just going around touching all the spots. Going around the outside edge as well. Making sure all the areas are colored. There we go. So I've got all the pink areas covered. Oh, sorry, all the white areas covered. Okay, now I'm going to go to the second darkest. And then I'm going to go in and fill in the center. And then try to just hit the interior sides of things. Just to give a darker interior color. And then I'm going to do the outsides as well. And then I'm going back to the light color again, just to blend everything together so I don't have harsh lines. It's very hard to see. And then this begonia orangey color I don't really like. I'm going to try tulip. Tulip with a fine tip marker. And see if I can darken even further. Okay. So I don't know if you can see it, but it's got some depth in there now. All right. So that's okay. I'm using that for this one as well. So this one is completed. This one we're going to start again. There we go. That looks much better. So now you can see the two gradations. See, and doing it twice, it's allowed me to figure out a few things. And then I'm going to go into the center with the tulip color. Alrighty. There we go. Now, these are quite pink compared to that. So I think what I'm going to do is a little bit of aging, but I'm going to do that by, where's this scrap piece of paper? use a paper towel. I'm going to damp off as much as I can, and then I'm just going to put this, tap this in, and that'll bring down the color a little bit. All right, if you look at the two, one looks a lot more aged than the other one. Alrighty, so that's that. Again, a little brown, tamp it. There we go. And there's our aged flowers. Get that off my hands. Okay. Now we're doing the greens. It's always a good idea to paint in the direction that things are going, so you don't have funny little blobby colors. Alrighty. And I think I'm just going to leave it the way it is, because that has turned out really nicely. It's settled in the crevices and everything the way it was supposed to. Alrighty. So let me see what I want to do about this butterfly. I think I'm okay with all of this happening here. And this will be just dandy in here. That's fine there. I think I'm going to put gold on this. Gold nugget. Just want to test a couple of golds. Maybe that one. I have a couple of different colors here. Oh no, that's too green. And that's kind of bronzy. Interesting. It's amazing how many different golds you can have. That's a interesting gold. I think I'll stick with the first one. And I'm just going to color the whole thing, but then I'm going to age it by adding some other things. Now this is this particular cast is plastic, so I just have to see how it's going to hold the ink. And when it's dry, I will have to go back and plug up some of the holes that I've left, because there are air bubbles that occur in castings, and it's hard to fill those. You have to really, everything has to be dry for you to see them. Lots of detail here. I think I'll switch. See if I can get more of it in there. There we go. So I switched from my paintbrush head to my bullet head. It's a little stronger and it's a little finer tipped, so it seems to be covering a bit better. This was an extremely slow process, so I will just skip to the end. Just going to finish off the edges. Okay, so that is it. So now we're going to play with some waxy things. So I have some wax and I have some ink. So I need, so I'm just going to do a little bit of a media thing here. So I can put some spray down. All right. I'm just going to take my dauber. So we're going over everything. Go over the edges. Okay. Leave that to one side. You have to clean up your oxides or they clog. Okay. Have some water here, just a drop of water. And I always have a paper towel handy to take all the excess out of the way. So now I'm going to hit that with the dryer for a second. The thing about this is that it will heat up. You don't want it to get hot, you just want it to get dry. And I'm going to hit it with some Savage Patina. Okay. And I'm going to wipe that off. And I'm just going to hit a bit with tarnish brass. Like I said, sometimes your thing gets clogged, so that you do want to avoid. Okay. All right. And let's just take the okay. Put some water down here. Whoops. And wipe off your mat. There we go. Hit it with some heat. Alrighty. So. Okay, now just take a little of this. And this brings in the pinks. And you just smoosh that all over top and it gives it sort of an iridescency look, and it adds in a little bit of a pink hue. You don't want a lot. So there is our finished piece. You can see in certain lights it has the pink to it, but considering what it started like this, and it now looks like this. Very cool, right? I think so. All right. All right. Now, I think I'm going to have to play with those a little bit more. So this guy is already broken, so I want to strategically break him in places that are going to make him sit more or less flat. So there, there, and there, and I just want a little, easier said than done, a little piece more. And I'm just going to glue them all broken down like that. Now, it's better if you don't have your stuff bending like that, but I didn't realize I had to put weight down on it. Until after the fact. Okay, so now I'm gonna get this set. So this is gonna go kind of want this to go over top like that. So I have a little bit hanging out. And then this is going to be right there. And the final one is going to be right there. Because it's over a bit there, so I want it over a bit there. Make sure my bow is tight. Trim off my ends. Make sure you get a nice clean cut. There we go. I do have to fix this. So let's see. If I do that, I think I'll do that. All right, I'm going to put some antique brass on these guys. I want to see if I can tone down that pink a bit. So let's get again, stopper blocked. Okay. So I went from hot pink to a whole different thing. All right, let's see what we can do with a little bit of water and a paintbrush. I really gotta get in here because that hot pink is not going to work for me. I do want there to be some pink remnant, but I do not want it to be hot pink. There we go. That's better. So now we have pink. Yeah, liking that a lot more. Just put it right on there. So this one got a little messier, but I do like where we've ended up. Much better, much better. Beautiful. Get my fingers washed off a bit. Now, I'm not going to do anything with my paintbrush for a minute because I'm going to see if I need to tamp a little bit more on there. Give it a bit of a dry. Just make it a little darker at the tops. There we go. And let's hit that with a dryer. Let's put that to the side. And now we're going to do a little bit on this guy. But I don't want to do a lot on this guy. There we go. So we have our, there, now everything's kind of going all together, which is what my goal was. This has come off. Now we can put this down. So I want to have this guy here, I think. Yeah, right about there. So I'm going to need some thick glue. And my thick glue is this tacky glue. And it's really only going to stick. I got a lid in my mouth. It's really only going to stick where it actually touches the paper. There we go. And then this guy can just sit in that little alcove. So we're going to have these guys. I need, oopsie. Gonna need a glue dot to spread across underneath here. Because otherwise it won't adhere. There we go. And then this guy is pretty flat. And can go right about there. Nice big gobby bit of glue. There we go. Oh, that's feeling nice and secure. Okay, so let's get this guy down. This guy is rubbery, so he has more spring to it. And let's just put him over here. There we go. Let's press that down. hold it for a minute. And now this guy is just gonna kind of lay on the side. Nope, don't even need as much as I thought I did. Then this can lay right there. We're okay with the crunchies. I'd like to put some more, but I think that might be too much. Okay, I'm going to use my good scissors. I'm going to use my metal cutting scissors, and I'm going to try to chip away at this. So I chipped away, and I need to chip away a little bit more. So I'm going to draw a pencil line on there so that I know when to stop. And there we go. I think we've done it. Put away my metal scissors. Get some glue, stick this down. And, woo, that'll just fit. There we go. Alrighty, so now all we have to do is put this one on, and since I've got the glue out, why not use the glue? And I want to make sure it is straight. There we go. And there's our finished piece. So let me remind you what it started out as. So that was originally what it looked like. Whoops. All the white. So that, you know what? Let's get that light out of the way. So that was the original, and this is how it ended up. Two very different looking images. There we go. Cool, right? You start with an idea and then you develop it into something else. So I'm loving that change. Okay, so let's go back and see what we've got here. We have there we go. I think that will do better. There we are. Yes. Okay. So our three cards. We have, let's move some of my stuff out of the way. We have our first card. And our second card. And our third card. All three cards. Very different looks, but all with pink and yellow theme. I love it. There we go. A little more light so you can see all three. Ta-da! We are done. So, if you enjoyed this video and would like to share it with your friends, please feel free to do so. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel below and I will see you next week. Bye now.